Okay, let's try this again. And what I mean by try this again is I had this 4 gig card in this camera instead of the 8, and I'm looking over here because I've got 23-inch viewfinder over here. I mean, I've got patch cables where I can put this on the TV. Anyway, before I realized I ran out of tape, I was showing off my console games. If you guys want to call me a show off, that's fine. But it occurred to me the last time I showed off my games, I was I only showed my PC games. But before I get around to my console games, I had to rebuild my PC this past week. AVG, the antivirus software, don't get me wrong, they have a great product, but their recent trial has become a problem for me. When I rebuilt my system, I had to run in a new antivirus, and I guess what happened was I installed their trial. It's AVG 2014 free edition, but it turns out it's only a trial. And to be able to even uninstall the software, you have to buy their premium software. I mean, I really hate programs that make you buy it just to remove it. I mean, it's kind of like a forced sale. No business should force their customer to buy their product. I mean, here, I'm going to raise you up here so that I can get a better eye level with the camera. That's better. It might look a little cockeyed. Let's see if we can. How's that? Good? Anyway, the only way I could see to remove it was to format and rebuild my system. Now, I've run into the common problem with Windows 7 where I've exceeded my install limits, where my COA hadn't been validated anymore or couldn't use it anymore. But there's a little program called Windows Loader. You download it to your desktop, you run it, and when the program's done running, it will prompt you to reboot. You reboot right there and then. When your computer boots back up, your system's activated. Now, technically this is a hack. Technically it's illegal. Microsoft doesn't like programs like this, but I think they're being a little anal about their install limits. You really need to loosen the grip, Microsoft. I mean, you're being too overbearing, too controlling. If I knew how to use any other operating system, I'd go to them. I mean, I have Ubuntu, but I can't figure out how to work the command trees. I don't even know how to format a new partition on the drive short of reinstalling it. And then, even then, it formats the partition automatically. I'm occasionally reaching up here to check the temp of the camera. I've got a jerry-rigged continuous power supply so the batteries don't run dead. I've got this thing running on what used to be a cell phone charger for a previous cell phone that I still own. This little LG from Verizon. I don't use that anymore. It's perfectly good and still usable. It's just I'm not with them anymore, so I utilize the batteries and the charger. And what I did was I just cut the end off, stripped off the insulation, put the wires in between two. This camera takes 3 batteries and they're wired in series, so what I did was I just sandwiched the positive wire between the one battery on the positive and the negative on the other end of the negative battery pack, and then just didn't put in the middle one. If I put in the middle one without it being rechargeable, chances are what would happen is it would have overjuiced the batteries, and while I'm videotaping, you probably see a spray of smoke, alkaline hit everywhere, and the camera would go dead. Because when batteries explode, they lose their ability to generate current. Anyway, now, As a general rule of thumb, I don't like using strategy guides, but some people see them as cheating. For me, cheating on a video game is entering a cheat code to alter the way the game functions, like making you invincible or giving you a weapon you're not supposed to have at that particular time. But looking for information to get up past a part where you may be stuck, that's not cheating. That's just drawing on the gameplay experience of other gamers. So, with Metroid's Prime, I have the trilogy for the Wii. I got this so that I could get past that stupid Omega Pirate. Now, I haven't done that yet because I don't have enough spare power tanks, energy tanks to do it yet. But I really, really want that Phazon suit. There's a lot of Phazon crystals and a lot of Phazon radiation going on, and I've got the limited edition in the steel case of the Metroid trilogy. Here's the steel case. Now, I do have the Action Replay power saves for this, and I do play it just to screw around, but I'm also running a file that I'm beating it honestly. Now, up until recently, the only version of that particular game I had was the first installment for the GameCube. This is Metroid's Prime Echoes. You know, it's got the bonus disc in it and all that kind of stuff, but the GameCube controls for this are a little unruly, and I find it a lot easier to play on the Wii. That's one of two GameCube games I've got, and I've got a Gen 1 Wii that has the GameCube compatibility. I got Resident Evil 4, or RE4 as some people call it. Now, I can play that on any console. I've been resisting getting that for the Wii because I can do just fine with the GameCube controller, and as long as this Wii keeps functioning, I can still play it. But most of my games are for the Wii. Here's one that I got for Christmas two years ago. Green Lantern. I'm stuck. I'm going to have to go look at some playthroughs to figure out how to get past the given zone on this. For a rookie, I've made quite a bit of progress with this, but I'm stuck. I'm also stuck with this one. And I have a playthrough guide, but it doesn't show me how to draw the Twilight creatures, the big long arms with the big flat heads with the dreads hanging out the back. I don't know what they're called, but you're supposed to get them into within a certain radius and then use Midna's hair ring, so to speak. It looks like it generates right from her hair, and then you hit the attack button and it just goes zip 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 and attacks all three of them almost simultaneously, taking them all out. I can't figure out how to draw them together. They just won't cooperate. And then we've got the character that made Nintendo what it is today, the Super Mario Brothers. Now, this is the new Super Mario Brothers for the Wii, but I've played every single Super Mario Brothers games that Nintendo has made, including Mario Paper, Mario Galaxy. I didn't care for Mario Paper that much, and I didn't get to play Mario Galaxy for long enough to say whether or not that I enjoyed it. But this is the closest to the original Super Mario Brothers that you got with the original NES. Now, when we got our NES, it came as a bundle with Duck Hunt and Super Mario Brothers. Now, that was not originally the way it came out. It used to be just the console and you had to buy the game separate. But, and then for Super Nintendo, I always liked Donkey Kong Country. They call this Donkey Kong Country's Return, but it's really a revamp of Donkey Kong Country for the Super NES. And they had this for the Nintendo 64, I believe, too. But it is basically the same game. They just say Returns because they brought it back in the Wii. And this is not as good a version as this next game is not the best version. I mean, PlayStation and Xbox got a better deal with it. But Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I got this on a Black Friday sale 2 years ago for $10. Normally about $50. This one doesn't even have the zombie levels in it. I mean, I've had Call of Duty games. I found out that I want to get Battlefield 4 for PC. I've seen some gameplay and it's way better than COD. The storyline is one continuous storyline, like Resident Evil 4. Now they really nailed it with that one. And I would like to get Resident Evil 6, maybe even try out Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles was a complete waste of time. You really can't control anything. You're just aiming your gun, and the game auto moves you through the zone. I like full control of my character. Now, don't get me wrong. Resident Evil is a great game, but Umbrella Chronicles was a flop. The graphics are really good. Some of the gameplay for what it was is pretty good. But the fact that you couldn't move around manually move around your character, other than aiming a reticle, you know. And you aimed your reticle using the Wiimote, by the way. It's just too much trouble. Give me a good old-fashioned classic controller. Now, this one's able to use the classic controller, but since I've got the Generation 1 Wii, I can't get the classic controller for it anymore. The only ones that are available are for the Wii U, and they are not compatible with the old Wiis or the Wii Slim. And I am not going to pay $600 for a Wii U, much less $1,000 for an Xbox One. I'd rather just get a 360 for the Xbox and see if I can't find a wired classic controller for the Wii. And there's a couple other games I'd like to get. I like The Last of Us, but that's only available for PS3. As far as I can tell, I have not seen it available for PC or Xbox. I am a major gamer, primarily PC. I'm pointing over here at my computer. But when I first got into gaming, I had an Xbox 360 Elite. And the first game that I bought was Fallout 3 Game of the Year Edition. Now, I have that on PC now. I wish there was an emulator where I could just buy the Xbox games and run them right off my PC. There's supposed to be some emulators out there. I think Microsoft should make a PC version, a downloadable PC version, even if they sell it, for the Xbox operating system that'll allow you to run the Xbox discs on your PC. Because I've already got a Windows compatible Xbox 360 controller. This one's has some casing damage. I've done some customizing. I had tried to do a rapid fire circuit on it. Kind of worked, but I had trouble with the button placement. Now I have the GameCube controller for Resident Evil 4, and it's got built-in turbo. It's one of these Mad Cat generic controllers. See, from GameStop, you can even see the GameStop right there. And it's got a turbo button. This is it right up here. And the only game that I have that really makes it practical to use this with, well, I did use it for Metroids, but now I play the Wii version. I've been trying to post Metroids online on eBay for quite some time, trying to get it sold, but nobody wants GameCube games anymore.